Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you the daily Tesla report for Friday, June 30th, 2023. Before I click on the charts, just want to encourage you to please click like, subscribe, share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos, daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, weekly analysis in the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as two individual stock picks every week that you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader to 3 to 5 month near term investor. We're always looking for 20% moves on those underlying stock buy and sell signals. So check out wickedstocks.com. You get that entire package I just described for $47 a month. And you get a 5-day free trial with that at the very beginning of your subscription. Anyway, here we go. Daily Tesla report for Friday. We did, after closing above the 197.24 long-term channel top 5 weeks ago, reach our initial objective at 277.69 within 4 weeks. This was considered a 2 to 3 month objective, although at the time I'd mentioned 3 to 5 weeks certainly possible with the volatility that was playing out at the time. And so we reached 277.69, and now there's room, if you will, for this market to fall back into this narrowing zone of meaningful support. 182.21 is the channel bottom to the 277.69 channel top, and 197.24 is, of course, that former long-term 18-month channel top. This narrowing zone in reach over the next couple of months, where we could bottom out on a monthly, possibly quarterly basis, and then rotate off of this area back to new move highs over the following several months. So that is kind of the midterm dynamic, although longer term, having closed above 197.24, I do think over the next year or less, probably less, that 414.49 all-time high in reach, holding above this descending channel top that we settled above 5 weeks ago. Now, there's a lot going on here that I'm actually going to show on the daily chart, but I will show 267.06 is a descending two-thirds speed line that you see coming off that all-time high. We pushed through it a couple of weeks, did not close above it. It is still there and capable of containing daily buying pressures. And if we close today above 267.06, we should retest that 277.69 channel top within just 3 to 5 days or so. So let's take a look at the daily chart itself, and I'll show you this mid band here. This is what I'm still going with as our pivot point into next week, holding above 249.04 to 250.81. This is our support, able to contain selling into later next week, and above which we just might reach 278.85 by the end of next week. Now, on the way up, I just mentioned that 267.06 weekly speed line. In reach today, actually, if we push or open above 258.85. 258.85 is still a Fibonacci level, a half pullback. There's a lot going on in the 258 handle. We have the high of the low from 4 days ago. We have the low of the high from a week and a half ago. That's in the upper 257 handle. There's just a lot going on there. I know it's been a little sloppy the last couple of days. I will say if we happen to push, especially if we open today above 258.85, 267.06 in reach, where we can place a daily high. And as I said a moment ago, closing today above 267.06 should yield that 277.69 to 278.85 region within just a few days, where we can top out not only through next week, but even through July and August, and fall off again from there. As I mentioned earlier, holding below the upper 270s will keep the upper 180s, upper 190s in reach over the next couple of months. On that score, if we happen to close today below 249.04, everything I said about the market able to reach the upper 270s by the end of next week reverses. And if we close today below 249.04, I would expect by the end of next week, this 225.90 rising one-third speed line projected off that January low, it would become really, I'm going to say a 3 to 5 day, perhaps 1 to 2 week target. If we close today below 249.04, that 225.90 speed line, then a 1 to 2 week objective where we could bottom out into later July, possibly through July, and then from there turn back up perhaps into the upper 270s, 280s, this rising channel top in reach within 2 to 3 weeks perhaps of testing 225.90. It would be a settlement below 225.90 that would clearly indicate then this area of support I mentioned earlier between 182.21 and 197.24. So in terms of the options trade, I'll just kind of stick with the 2 to 3 week. If we happen to push back up into the upper 270s again over the next week, and that is in reach above 250.81, remember, then you could at that point in time reach for 225, 227 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least a month. I'd go a couple of months out there. Or when we're testing this area, as I mentioned, a couple of weeks ago, once we're pushing, if we're pushing back into the upper 270s, you might reach for 190 out of the money puts that don't expire for at least 3 months. You might go 6 months out on that. In terms of the downside, once again, if we settle today below 249.04, that pivots the market south into next week, and the 225.90 formation speed line expected possibly within 3 to 5 days of closing below 249.04. So, the 1 to 2 week time frame is stable. You can make a bullish case up to 278.85, but I just think it's mere stability. I don't expect 278.85, although I wouldn't be surprised to see it reached because there's room for that above 250.81. But this was a significant test, 278.85 a week and a half ago, and it carries with it building selling pressures, perhaps, which, sort of build even more if we settle today below 249.04. So once again, pushing above 258.85 today, 267.06 in reach, where we can place a daily high. And if we close today above 267.06, we should then, by the end of next week, retest this 277.69 rising channel top. Inversely, once again, and I'll say it one more time, I think repetition is useful. Closing below 249.04, I'm expecting by the end of next week 225.90. So that's kind of your 3 to 5 day swing trade. Holding above 250.81 allows 278.85, and I use the word allows very specifically because of the heavy nature I think this market can develop into July, holding below 278.85. And inversely, the 3 to 5 day swing trade shifts negative with a settlement today below 249.04, then expecting 225.90 within 3 to 5 days, where profits can be taken, and long entry for those 2 to 3 week swing traders, because from here we can rally back into the upper 270s, low 280s following a test at 225.90. I think I've said it all for Friday's Tesla. Please click like, subscribe, share, and check out wickedstocks.com. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's Tesla. You have a great weekend.